Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down.
Welcome to MUBRS. Well,
at the end.
MUBRS scissors. We will be continuing retrospective, but a little bit different this time. But before we get there, we need to tell you about our sponsor.
Deep Creek Glassworks.
Deep Creek Glassworks.
Making handcraft durable glass goods since 2013.
Since 2013. Coming up on a 10-year anniversary. Pretty awesome.
That's like the diamond year. I want to see him make a fucking piece of blown glass out of diamonds.
Done.
It doesn't work.
No.
It's a rock.
Do it.
Yeah.
Devalue that shit.
It's going down.
I've seen people blow rocks before, but it's not the same.
That's a little different. I think that's a little different. It's a guy named Rock, and that's totally different.
It's Dwayne.
Dwayne. I am D. Wayne. Blow me rocks Johnson. Anyway, if you want some really cool looking artwork that you can display on Christmas trees, your mantles, maybe a sun catcher hanging in your window next to your spider plant spiders, head to deepcreekglassworks.com. Work spelled WORX. You can also check out their Instagram, their Etsy, and just their website. Facebook. 'Tis the season of craft shows and other seasons that are coming up soon. Halloween, big one. Some awesome looking pumpkins, some spooky, scary ghosts that aren't so spooky, scary, but
Spooky, scary skeletons.
ooh, werewolf bar mitzvah, spooky, scary. I can't not think of that.
Boys becoming men.
Men becoming wolves. And then another big holiday season. You celebrate whatever you want to.
Columbus Day.
Yes. No, no. I don't think you're allowed to celebrate that anymore.
Oh.
But for the rest of them, you can
Juneteenth.
Past that.
For the rest of them, you can check out deepcreekglassworks.com. for
Labor Day.
all of your.
Past that.
Memorial Day.
That's next year.
Yeah. It eventually comes up.
technically, yeah, sure. You know what? Whatever the fuck you want to celebrate, go for it at whatever time of the year. But
Kwanzaa.
if you want something to look really cool with it, just go check out deepcreekglassworks.com.
Today.
Today, 10% off your first purchase if you use our code SUPERFUN. Crush-resistant boxes, free shipping. That wasn't even planned. I love that. Check them out. Works spelled WORX. Today. All right.
Also,
Today.
Oh.
another sponsor.
Ooh.
Ourselves.
Oh. We did.
Oh, shit.
We did something ourselves to benefit our listeners.
Exactly.
Oh, tell me more, Joe.
Check out our social media, and you can find out a link to a Gleam.io giveaway, where we're going to be giving away a $50 gift card to either PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, or Nintendo eShop. All you have to do is go to the link, participate, enter in. Several ways to enter through our social media, sharing, Discord, things of that nature. And you'll be entered to win.
Yeah, and if you don't want a gift card, I will give you 6 months to my OnlyFans for free. Wow. Yeah.
Gleam us, guys. Just
Yeah.
gleam us. Gleam us good.
Oh, I like that.
And get in the Discord. We're having a lot of fun in there. So
yeah.
join us over on the Discord. Link can be found on our social media sites.
Yes. Join the party. Speaking of parties, we're going to hold some hands because we're doing some Handhelds Roundtable. So it's not necessarily going to be like an in-depth look at all of the systems, but we're going to touch on some things and just kind of have a little bit of discussion about them because we already covered Game Boy, and there's 90% of your handheld market. Or was. Maybe.
3DS.
Yeah. Well,
We did an episode on that too.
Yeah, no, I know.
yeah.
So
I'm aware.
Okay.
So yeah, the next couple episodes, as you can tell, aware, the last year, and it's been over a year, I feel like, since
Yeah,
we started.
I think
we've
it
been
has
doing
been.
this for a
Has it?
while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously we've done a ton of consoles at this point. There's not many left. Obviously we're dwindling on, we've already had a few episodes where, either one or two of us have not played it.
Yep.
Yep.
Or never owned it.
Right.
Yep. Or had to rent it.
So for the handhelds that weren't, super mainstream or that, a lot of us didn't own or maybe only one of us owned. We figured we just kind of do a conglomeration just to discuss them and reminisce about the games we played on them.
I love conglomerations.
Conglomerations are the best.
Yeah.
Especially when they get like your eye gets stuck closed.
Yeah, that's how you get pink eye. Oh,
I thought that was farting on pillows.
or different.
Well,
they're right. Oh,
You only have to fart?
oh, you don't have to press your eye to it. I wanted to see into the future.
Harry's upper.
I've been
decking
taking full
pillows.
shits on the pillow just trying to spite my wife.
Yikes.
She hasn't divorced you yet, so she hasn't gotten the
Jokes on you. Blue just eats it.
yeah.
I'm going to leave a present.
And then just gives you tons of kisses.
Food.
He does aim to get in your mouth when he gives kisses, so just right in there.
Oh, I love it, man.
Oh, I bet you
Yeah.
do. You fucking sick.
No, I don't.
Sick fuck. Yeah, your one died is like Mark is all up in your face.
Oh yeah,
like,
Marcus will like clean your sinuses out.
yeah.
Like it's just tongue in your brain.
Delilah's all about ears. She's just like, oh, let me clean around your ear. Let me try to clean in your ear, and then I'm just gonna like nibble in your earlobe in the top of your ear. She's like,
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll get you going.
in that thing. baby.
Oh my God, where'd this erection come from?
she's so funny though.
She's a puppy, Clark.
She is a puppy. She is a puppy.
Wait until she's grown.
God, at least get her spayed first.
She is.
That was a prerequisite. Yeah, you opened up the doors on that one, man.
He said she is like it was a problem.
What?
Well, anyway, I have a very
It's a new string of jokes we never touched on the show before.
bestiality.
Bestiality.
You know what? I think if you dig deep enough,
I don't know,
you prove
Salamander
yourself
Daddy.
wrong.
Yeah, you're the origin of our bestiality
That was
stories.
not consensual.
That's where COVID came from.
Yeah.
Hairy salamander pants.
Good times.
All right. Well, some fun information. The first handheld game was made in 1976 by Mattel, named Auto Race. And then the first
Sounds fun.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Well, it's 1976, so you're going from
Sounds inappropriate.
Auto Race,
I don't know. It's just like, yeah.
the first
White people everywhere.
It's an auto race. It's an auto war. It's a race war.
Developed in 1944.
And then the first commercially successful handheld console was called Merlin, which was in 1978, which actually sold more than 5 million units. Now, it's like a little, like, it's basically handheld with some buttons and light up dots. And you got to play like tic-tac-toe, Music Machine, Echo, which was basically Simon or Simon Says, Blackjack 13, Magic Square, which is kind of like a lights out pattern type game, and then Mindbender, which I have no fucking clue. Anyway, there were some other lesser known ones that came out, and then in 1989, Nintendo released Game Boy, and that's all the information I have.
Yeah, they took over the market.
Yeah, that pretty much got it.
Revolutionized it.
Right.
Which is why it ended up with an episode.
Yeah. So at least kind of like moving along, if let's just kind of get like other ones that may be known but kind of out of the way. You had your Sega release Game Gear,
Right.
which was a giant brick in your hand that needed like 8 AA batteries.
Yep.
It was a lot.
But it was color screen before Nintendo was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, backlit color screen.
Yeah, like
before
it-
Nintendo.
Man, they make like there's a guy on like Etsy that sells replacement screens for it that are like OLED.
Really?
That's crazy.
And it's fucking ridiculous. Like it's so like bright and vivid. It's just nuts.
And then you had like your Tiger Electronics, where it was just baseball or football, just kind of like your
Yeah, I had a
basic
few of
shit.
those.
I had a few of those as well.
Yeah.
One of them that I really wanted to talk about was the X-Men game.
Oh,
Yeah,
All right.
I had a Tiger Electronics X-Men game where
Are we talking the things where you put the AA batteries in the back?
Yeah.
It was like
Okay.
one
And it has-
stage
yeah.
type screen.
Okay. got it,
and
got
you're
it.
just like moving around the stage trying to
You
like
had
win.
like an up down and a left right on most.
Yep.
And some of them didn't even have that many.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Just to make sure we're going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it at least had one button. If you got the fancy one, it had 2 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I played a ton of the X-Men game there because it's they're almost like rhythm games. Like it would send attacks and stuff across the screen.
You'd
and
have
have
to
to like jump like at
Yeah.
the right time to like
Yeah.
move your character up the screen, and then you could send it like a shockwave back. Or in this case, it was like you were playing a Cyclops, so you're like shooting lasers at Magneto on the other side of the little screen.
And it's just like the little quartz crystal like
Yeah.
things that pop up to
Yeah.
represent. Yeah.
And like Magneto would be sending like shock waves or metal through the air, and like you had to just like dodge them long enough to kill Magneto. It was basically the game.
If you catch the screen in the right light, you can see like all the little
All the different positions.
Yeah.
You're like, I've never seen that one before.
Right. Not necessarily a handheld, but like a small system. Considered Nintendo flop was Virtual Boy.
Yep.
I had that. It was basically just black and red. I remember hearing people get like severe headaches and other shit. I could see how that happens. Not my case, but still, it's that's one of those collector's things.
Shit'll burn your retinas.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you have issues with like PlayStation VR or any current VRs?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get like motion sickness or really have any problems with that.
I want to find somebody that like it's like, yeah, I didn't have any problems with Virtual Boy, but PlayStation VR makes me sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's somebody out
'Cause
there.
that would make no fucking
I mean, it's
sense.
a small sample size because how many people have played Virtual Boy?
It's true. It's very true.
and I'm one.
All 15 people that have
Yeah.
ever owned or
We just
seen
need
one
to
of
set
those
up a
things.
booth at Too Many Games with one of each and have people play one and then play the other and be like, which one made you more sick?
And we'll all just stand there with lab coats and ask
Yeah,
them
yeah,
questions.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, would you fill out the survey, please?
We'll pour acid
don't
on their
hate this
heads when
idea.
their
Yeah.
faces are in it.
It would be a weird, gimmicky
that was
thing
extreme.
enough that I think it
Yeah.
would generate some.
I
some
think there would be a
interest.
fucking line.
Yeah.
Probably, and then I'll be there.
They're
for
like,
your
wait, there's some
prostate
random
exam.
booth letting people play Virtual Boy?
Yeah, like we need you to play Virtual Boy,
I
and
would
then we
do
need
it.
you to play PlayStation VR, and then we need to talk about your experience.
They need to be similar type games though. Like if it's like if Virtual Boy had a tennis game.
Dr. Mario and,
then
Surgeon Simulator. Here we go.
Perfect. That's it. End of conversation. Done. You know what? End of podcast. It's been fun. Love you guys.
Oh, scheming on a plan.
Scheming on a plane. Yeah, I mean, then there were many iterations of Game Boy. Then you had your 3DS. That was pretty much like your handheld market for the longest time until they tried kind of like a Wii U, which didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that handheld.
No, and then it's pretty much up to current date with the
Switch.
Nintendo Switch, and
Yeah, as
now
far as Nintendo's concerned.
right
yeah.
as far as they're concerned, and then the only other major player currently is like Steam Deck,
Yeah.
because that's definitely kind of that's putting a twist on it, where it's
Yeah.
not a Nintendo-driven console of one sort or another, but it's still portable, and now you're starting to get into do like
It's not a handheld, but but yeah, that's what I
yeah,
meant.
yeah, like PC games, like you can still
Yeah,
play
you
your-
play anything
yeah.
to go pretty much.
yeah.
But there's also, the PSP.
the
and
PSP
Vita.
and the PS Vita.
Yeah.
Both were fantastic machines. Just Sony just fumbled the bag on both of them.
Yeah.
I did. I remember I had a PSP like way back when. I took out my
yeah,
first
same.
credit card to buy a PSP.
Oof.
Yeah.
That was my. I only played it when I was on a plane.
That was your game.
That
Or that was
no,
your system.
Yeah, that was my system.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just took it on your bachelor party, and then you were like, my battery's swollen.
Yeah, it's like that's
it's the first time that's ever happened.
it's gonna blow up.
It was
Well,
bad.
yeah, because once it swells, it doesn't go away.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I've had a battery.
not
I've had a battery go down before for a cell phone.
Wow.
Well, you just need to like poke it with a little needle. That totally
Don't
won't
tell
help.
him that. That will literally like burn you very badly.
I know, that's the fun part. He was just talking about putting acid on people's faces.
Yeah, fuck them.
This is not financial advice.
No.
Not financial advice.
Have we ever claimed to be a financial advice podcast? 'Cause-
Yes,
Oh, okay.
all the time.
Yeah, because
Here's
Clark,
financial-
tells them to either buy, rent, or pass.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, no.
Here's
I
some
give
more
financial
financial advice
advice.
for you.
Sure.
Save some money and go participate in our giveaway. Boom.
Oh,
Boo.
boom.
Boo.
You make money.
It's free to enter. Boom.
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 What?
I don't know.
And it's like that's the equivalent of like, hey, you want to have money? Get a job. Financial advice. Boom.
I mean, that is financial advice.
I know,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Wow, Harry,
I'm just
who
saying
knew
the quality.
You were such a guru.
See, quality
Everyone-
financial advice on this podcast.
Everyone
like I
knows
just said,
we set the bar really low.
You're really fucking low.
just like all of our wives and girlfriends.
Set the bar. That's called settling. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they settled for us.
I am a trophy husband. Just to set the record straight.
Well, you are shiny.
Yeah.
You got that going for you.
Damn, I was going to say participation trophy. I participated.
There's no trophy with Harry. You just get a ribbon.
Some shitty ribbon.
It just says you tried.
Oh, they have red, blue, and yellow ribbons for first, second, and third place. What color did you get? I got a purple.
Yeah, I think it's magenta. I ate a crayon like that once. And then there was the PlayStation Vita, which,
Yeah.
I did not own. We know Clark was a big fan of. That was his pooping console.
Nope. Yeah, it was. Honestly, it was like actually like really good
Shit.
handheld, and
Yeah.
like it just like it got like completely railroaded by PlayStation. Like they never did that thing justice.
Yeah,
And it
because you
was-
could remote play with that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could remote play with it. Like I played my PS4 with it. Like like there were so many different things. Or you could just set it up to be a controller as an extra controller too. Like if you were like playing and like I have 3 controllers and now I have 4 people here to play Little Big Planet. You know what I mean?
Perfect
Like,
example.
Yeah, like
Give me the Mad Cats.
you could set it up to just be another controller, which I thought was awesome.
That is pretty cool. Multifunctional.
Yeah, for sure. And
Like
again,
my anus.
it's one of those things where it's like that piece of technology was really cool, and there just wasn't enough support for it to survive. Really,
Gotcha.
I don't think there was enough, like, for both the I kind of feel the same way, maybe less about Nintendo's handhelds, but mostly the PSP and the PS Vita. There's no, like, they're like, we're going to have, like, flagship IPs on it, but no flagship, like, titles. They're always, like, spin-offs that, like, aren't necessarily even made by the same studios all the time.
it's true.
And, like, the quality isn't as good. Like, and they're just, like, and to me, that's what kind of, like, what as you refer to it as railroaded it. It's like, so they just couldn't get anybody on board to, like, actually be like, no, just, like, port fucking, like, Modern Warfare to it.
Yeah, and
Like,
and when
it would have been like, oh, that's amazing. I can fucking play this thing on the fucking couch while, like, watching TV or, like, whatever you wanted to do for a handheld. But,
Yeah.
like, if they had some game like that was, like, not that Sony's still like, no, fuck you on cross-platform, but like if they allowed people to like play Modern Warfare on a Vita and Modern Warfare on a PS3 in the same lobby, like how fucking sweet would that have been?
Would have been awesome.
yeah, it would have definitely been awesome.
Keyword would have.
Yeah.
One of the things too is like Sony actually tried with the PlayStation Vita, but I think there were so many people that were pissed off about the way PSP was handled at the end, because they really specifically for the PSP, like they had the UMDs, which was a terrible idea, and then
They had the proprietary micro SD card, if you want to call it that.
yeah, they had everything proprietary, so you couldn't just like they didn't make it easy to use,
Right.
And then they offered the digital only PSP, which I have one of those, and
That's when they added the second joystick as well, right?
yes, they
'Cause
added
the original one only had a single joystick.
exactly, and it was a flip, so you'd flick the screen up.
Oh, that's right. It would slide up, right?
Yeah, it would slide up.
Oh, okay.
I have one of those.
Oh,
And they were like, "Oh yeah, like it's only digital. It doesn't have the UHD, whatever."
I think it was UMD, yeah.
UMDs.
yeah.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna digitize the entire library." But they started selling it before they digitized the entire library. So like, I had one, but I could never play Metal Gear Acid, which is like the game that I always really liked playing on PSP.
Right.
So I never got to play it. I bought the console, never got to play it, because as they were digitizing it, they decided to scrap it and then scrap the PSP, and they were like, "Oh, PS Vita's coming out," and then it never had any backwards compatibility with the PSP, which was also a mistake on their part.
Yeah, it was total shit show. And like I said, even then, like the second gen PSP had the dual analog, the first one didn't. So like, how do you build a game?
Right.
Like it was the whole like same thing on PS1, right? Original PS1 controllers didn't have analog, then they had the DualShock.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, I can't play a DualShock game unless I have a DualShock controller and vice versa. It was like a total shit show.
Yeah.
And it was like, to have that in a handheld market, which is already segmented like crazy, was just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a PSP. I bought it when I was in air traffic control school.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't really allowed to have anything else. Actually, I might have bought it in BASIC and just like played it like for the 3 hours we had off on Sundays.
Yeah.
Which it was either like you can have 3 hours to yourself or you can go to church.
I'll buy a PSP, thank you.
And I was like, yeah, I'm good on church. I'll just
PSP
do this.
time.
Yeah, like
Jesus, Armored Core. I'll go Armored Core.
yeah. So like I think I bought it then. It was either right when I was like getting done BASIC or starting air traffic control school. But it was
That irritates me.
Jesus.
They cut out the time for church.
Well, he also went
It's
to basic
church
in
or anything else.
Georgia, wasn't it?
it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't
None of that
matter.
mattered.
Yeah, it's just,
But so I had it then, and it was so. Anyways, it was like really nice for me because it was like the only way I could like still play video games for like quite a while. Because I mean, I was at air traffic control school for like almost a year and a half, and it was basically like I went almost like 2.5 years without a console.
yeah.
So like the PSP was the only thing I had.
No wonder you started buying them in bulk and selling them off. It's like, I've missed so much, I'm going to get retribution.
Yeah, there was a lot of time with no video games, and the PSP. And honestly, like the crazy part is, I was like trying to like be like, what games do I have? Because I sold it when I got to Korea, so I couldn't just like look what games I still had or anything like that. But I was just like, I think I played like the same 2 or 3 games the entire time that
You
I had
may
this
have,
thing. Like,
depending on what it was. I mean,
there wasn't that much to play either.
yeah,
Like,
I bought the PSP because I was working third shift at the time, and I wanted something to do on my lunch break at like 1 o'clock or like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. So I had like Ace Combat and one of the Metal Gear games, which was actually pretty well done. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a little different getting used to it, but
Right.
yeah. But honestly, that's probably the last handheld console that I had, other than you can almost call your cell phone a handheld console in
emulator
a
or
way.
whatever.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're able to find where you can emulate. Like I have, if you hear something, it's the dog barking. Because that was like the only thing I would play games on for a bit. Now I don't even do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I've had a little bit of a want after, like, when we went for Harry's bachelor party. Clark and I sat on the plane next to each other, and we were playing a Switch.
Yeah.
A good bit, and then Tanner also he got a Switch, I think, for Christmas or something, and played a few times with him. Like, I kind of want one of these.
They're a fun little console, honestly.
But I don't see myself having the time to play it, or really like, the place to really play it, other than just sitting on the couch. And if I'm going to do that, well, I have the PS5 sitting there just needing love and
yeah,
attention.
It's not
so
the same experience.
No,
No,
it's not.
It's not. A lot of the time that I play the Switch is like when my son's like on the TV,
Yeah.
and he's like he wants to play games or something like that. I can just like pick my Switch up and I'm playing a full console experience, just handheld.
Yeah. And then the most recent one is Steam Deck, which
Yep.
that would
I
be
love
at Joe's department.
Yeah, I play mine a lot, and it's actually something that I like didn't realize it was like something I missed and like would actually work for like Amanda and my relationship. Like,
Steam Deck, bringing families together.
well, yeah. So basically, the nice part about a handheld is like, sometimes we're just like, I want to put something on TV and like half watch it or whatever, or just like, but you can still be like, no, we're going to spend time on the couch. We're still like have each other company. Like we still can get each other's attention. We're at an arm's reach away. Whereas like sometimes like when I'm playing a computer game or I'm on my PlayStation, like I have my headphones on, I'm super immersed, like
More separated.
She's in a totally different room.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. so-
Spending alone time together, pretty much.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. We all
Absolutely
need
not.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's still like, nice for that type of thing.
Right.
Outside of the whole like, playing on car rides or plane trips or whatever the fuck. Yeah, and the Steam Deck is basically every handheld you could ever imagine in one. Like being able to like play my PS5 remote play on it is fucking awesome.
That's gross.
Like the other night, like I was just like mentally like done, but I was like, I just was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go up to the bedroom and just like separate myself. I need to decompress, and like I just took my Steam Deck up there and was playing Elden Ring. like, and I didn't have to like lug my PlayStation up there or like whatever, and like because I just that I just wanted to be in that space, and it was just like boom, I'll just take the Steam Deck up,
and you're good to go.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, so like I hadn't last handheld I had was 3DS.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm getting my money out of it. Like I bought it and I was like, I kind of use it, but like then I just like found myself just naturally using it more and more as I found like, oh no, these things work too.
Yeah, so it gives you like, once you find it's like, oh, okay, I don't feel just tethered to just like having to be in front of the console, in front of the large TV,
right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Which I'm almost wondering like where is it going to lead to for like handhelds in the future? Obviously, now we're getting like basically.
I think the
mini
docking
computers.
handheld is the only way you're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. I think that's the wave of the future. Really,
It's my favorite kind of handheld.
Yeah.
You, Steve, had a comment.
Oh, of course.
So Switch, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't say they started it. There was other companies around the same time that were doing similar ideas.
Yeah.
They were actually more closer akin to what Steam Deck is doing now. Mm-hmm. So there's the Switch that docks. There's the Steam Deck. The other major one is called GPD Win. They're another Steam Deck type variant.
Okay.
Way more expensive though. Steam Deck actually like puts a lot of their cost into the money they make off the games on the store.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Pretty much everybody else can't do. They can't subsidize that cost.
Right.
yeah. Steam's the biggest online retailer of PC games ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like
they just subsidize the cost of the machine.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
if you were,
we'll make it up.
if anybody else was building it, you'd pay 3 times more.
Right.
Well, it's like Amazon and their tablets. It's the same.
Right.
It's the same idea. Amazon puts out tablets,
$70
that are-
tablets.
that are on par with stuff that's like a fraction of what the iPad is, but like half the power of an iPad for 1/8 of the price.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Right.
and Amazon's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll just give these away. Like,
Yeah.
they have sales all the time on them. They're stupid inexpensive.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I would almost add in like where like VR is going now. Because it's not necessarily handheld, but it is kind of a portable thing because you're just
Well, it
popping on your
depends.
like if it's not
There's
tethered
like
to the PC,
There's
like
the one.
it's either like the Oculus
Only
or
the
whatever they're
Oculus
calling
is-
it now.
Yeah, the Oculus is the
Quest.
only one that's not tethered to like a console or PC.
Yeah, because like I think like the next step up from that is like the HTC Vive, and that's you
still
have to
PC
be
dependent.
yeah, and that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. And
Yeah.
even with that being like probably the next one, if you're taking the next step up from the Quest to that, you still have to be bound to the PC
Yep.
to be able to really to be able to use it. Period.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, they're wireless headsets at that point, but it's still all like all the rendering and stuff is done on PC.
Yeah.
like it's not done on the headset like it is on the Oculus.
right.
But yeah, I think we hit all the major handheld players.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anything.
I don't think anything major anyway.
Yeah.
Because you always had like and then that kind of gets into, you always had like the offshoot brands. I mean, the only other one I can really think of like, that even comes close, and that's a very far-fetched statement, is like Tiger Electronics in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like I think they just put out more quantity, period. Because if they were just able to find a way, it's like, oh, okay, well, we can just manipulate the way these cells look, and now we just turned it from baseball to football. Or
Yeah.
then you started
Right,
getting into the
right.
branded ones where it's like X-Men. I think I had a Turtles,
Yeah.
maybe, or like a
Yep.
Power Rangers. I'm not sure.
The one
something
I
like that.
remember playing the most was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, that was a good one too. I had that. I had Sonic, X-Men, and I think Turtles, because in Turtles you fought Kang. Kang was on the right side of the screen.
Yeah.
in like the big body or whatever.
Because I remember there being Krang.
Yeah.
I had a Home Alone 2 one.
Oh yeah.
We had to
Just
set
drop
up-
I paint cans
think
the
I
whole
did
time.
too.
where you set up the traps in the corner and you gotta wait
Yeah.
for them to,
Yeah,
and
That's
the bricks fall on 'em.
Yeah.
my cousin had that one.
Fucking wet bandits.
Oh, the wet bandits, so wet.
We're not the sticky bandits anymore. Because I had a bunch of those, and I remember one, I think we got like at a yard sale or something. It was like they called it like VR, but it was basically like you had to strap it like around your head, and there was like one little flip down visor, and that's the only thing you could see. was just the one. And I think you could have different games for it. I think it was Primal Instinct, where it was
I kind of remember this thing.
Yeah.
where it was
It was
like
just the one
dinosaur
eye,
fight.
though, wasn't it?
It was just the one eye. And it was like, it was clear, you could see, it was almost like AR, but you would still see them, and they only would again come up in red, because I think that's the thing that would stand out most when it's 3 inches from your fucking retina.
Redna.
But I remember, like, I would like, we had like the hallway closet, and I would just shut the door and completely black out. I know I went in
Fucking
the
Harry
closet.
Potter.
Yeah, Harry, I'm gonna go in and make me dinosaurs fight, and that was like how you could really
What?
see. I'm gonna okay. That was pretty much the only way you could like fully kind of see what was
Just had to
going
be in
on.
the dark.
Yeah, like it was like super
feel like
helpful.
It wasn't disorienting at all.
I mean, it may have been. I think I was also like 11, so I blocked out a lot of the childhood around that years.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
What?
What? But since it's kind of a roundtable one, I did want to bring up like those off-brand games. Like what's one that really kind of stands out that may have been your favorite, or just the only one that you really remember?
I remember the ones with the extra gadgets. Like there was a fishing game that we had, and it had,
Oh yeah.
had a reel on the side of it.
Yeah, and you actually had to like flick it and then like wait for it to like rumble.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
And when
fu-
it would start to rumble, you like flip
Yeah,
it
the
back.
fl- yeah,
and
flip-
you
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
reel it in.
Oh,
and then
neat.
on the screen it would tell you how much it weighed or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember
forgot
that
about- I
shit.
forgot about that.
Those are good.
God.
I enjoyed those.
I had speaking of the Home Alone 2, I don't know, what were those things called? The
Tiger Electronics.
Yeah, just where you get them in, you
It was-
cut them out of
it
that
was this-
plastic, the thick plastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just like the 3-inch by 3-inch
Yeah,
like
okay.
controller screen in one.
Well,
kind of
I
deal.
had I don't think it was Virtual Fighter. I think it was Virtua Fighter.
Okay.
I think it was like a knockoff,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I had one of those, and that was pretty cool. It had like 8 different characters in it, which is wild for one of those things, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, those things were stupid as fuck.
I mean, like, but they were also like great though. Like, I don't think I like played like a lot of them, but they were also like, boom, like I'm gonna say they were like $5. I hope they were like $5. I have no
I
idea.
bet you they were
Okay,
like
no.
$20. I'm gonna guess they're.
I was even going to say, I wonder what they actually cost back then for what you really got out of it. But
Can you find those online still? you
I'm
think?
sure.
I'm sure they are.
eBay has everything.
There's probably a collector's market for it. It's a
Ugh.
very niche market.
It's like pinball machines, but you can actually like store them reasonably.
Yeah, there's probably about like 75 guys who are seeking all of these out, but that's all it takes to make a market.
That's funny.
The R Zone.
That's it.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that is it. Oh my god.
The R
The R
R
R dash zone.
The
R
R dash zone is the headset that
It looks
Steve
like a
was talking
fucking
about.
sweatband
It
with
was
a Sega Genesis
It
controller.
It basically was.
Yeah, it's a sweatband with a Sega Genesis controller and an old 90s cell phone attached to it that just has a thin piece of plastic on it that is projecting stuff.
It looks
to.
similar to the Virtual Boy, but with one eye.
Yeah,
like the-
yeah.
almost, but
And this straps to your head instead of you like looking into the Virtual Boy.
yeah,
Oh,
that,
you know
that's what I was.
That's gonna smell great after a couple of uses too.
Oh my god. Doing some aerobics with that bitch on.
Oh fuck yeah, that was it.
The R Zone.
The R zone. We were poor, but it was neat. I will say actually that would probably be like the R zone is the one that really sticks out of my mind. I don't want to say because I'm the only one of all of my friends who had one of those. There's probably a reason for that, but I had one, and it was still got the time by, and you were able to like, I think the cartridges went like into like the little flip down visor like on the very top.
headpiece.
Yeah,
That's hot.
yeah, you were able to like
Nothing like more weight on your noggin.
right, exactly. Don't get me started on the adapters. It's just a 20-pound weight that just hangs down off your face.
Cool.
Got elephantitis of the eyebrow.
Nice.
Yeah. How many of you had Tamagotchis? That counts. It's handheld.
Yo, Amanda
Nice.
said the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking to her about this episode, and
So
she
did the
was like,
Dreamcast memory cards. Then
Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah." Yeah, she was like, Tamagotchis were a thing. And I was like, you can fuck off with that shit.
I think I had
They were. I mean, that's a huge thing from the 90s.
Oh, it was.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
And then there's
I think they're fucking dope for the time, though. I'll be honest. I think they're cool.
I didn't have a Tamagotchi. I had a Nano Pet.
No.
It was a dog.
I traded a Spawn action figure for a Tamagotchi.
Really?
At school, I did.
How's that going for you?
Fucking roasted.
I don't have the Spawn action figure anymore.
Where's the Tamagotchi?
Yeah, the Tamagotchi.
No,
He traded that for.
I traded the Tamagotchi for the Spawn action figure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the other way around.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
sorry.
Wait, you said I traded a Spawn action figure for.
I traded my Tamagotchi for the Spawn action figure.
Oh, that's a fucking win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, the way you said it, it was complete. I was like, I'll
Sorry.
give you this Spawn action figure for your Tamagotchi. It was like,
no.
what?
Nice.
This tiny little egg fuckers.
That Spawn action figure was fucking dope.
Yeah. As long as
Jesus, it's an action figure, man.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. I like collectibles and stuff like that. Like
God, if only you could find somebody who actually had some sort of small action figures.
yeah, Harry, you
that
have
you
like
can
fucking
play with.
cases of action figures. That
Those
you
are all
fucking made
action
yourself
figures.
They're
that don't move.
They're models.
They're
I
action
thought you were going
models.
to go with the Karate Fighters.
Oh, they're handheld and they're electronic. Let's talk about them.
It counts.
God.
Dude, those things scared the fuck out
Oh
of
yeah,
me.
they were yelling for years.
Yeah, they were.
Those are the best.
They would just never shut up.
they
Oh
were
no!
They were the best for sleepovers.
I mean, the corrosion on those things, and they're just still going.
When we lived together after high school, we'd be downstairs like playing fucking Raw versus SmackDown, and all of a sudden you just hear woo, woo, from his closet.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
like,
kept those that long?
Yeah, he did.
they're probably up in the attic right now.
Jesus Christ, Harry.
Let's go get him.
Don't be surprised.
Are you telling me though, if he brought those down, you wouldn't be like, "Fuck yeah, let's play some
I
Karate
don't think
Fighters"?
I have
They
them
would.
anymore, though.
I
don't
think if
they
they
made it.
if we could get them to actually sit on the pedestal thing to like spin around and shit, they would just disintegrate at this point because plastic doesn't keep that long.
I mean, those things, they just really hurt your wrists. You're just swinging as
yeah.
hard as you can
Yeah.
back and forth. And really, what is it doing? You're just training to crank yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I'm throwing karate kicks. You're masturbating, kid. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch this, Dad.
For the visual representation, Clark was twisting the joystick and also twisting his joystick.
got you ready for cranking yourself, Mario Party, and Rock Band.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
If we're talking about some games,
Yeah, do it up.
just revisit the PSP real quick. I didn't play a lot of games. I had Dissidia, which was pretty shit.
You mean you didn't like fighting on rails?
Yeah, it's so weird. I couldn't. I still can't figure it out, to be completely honest. Like I thought it was gonna be like Air Guys, just all the Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, you would hope that it was like something that was, successful and fun.
Yeah,
but
I
it
don't-
wasn't.
Apparently
It
not.
wasn't. I played a little bit of what's the prequel to Final Fantasy VII?
Crystal Chronicles.
No, it's the one.
Oh,
that-
Crisis Core.
Crisis Core. I have that.
I literally was just talking about that in
Where, yeah?
the Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah. Now, the two that were standout for me on the PSP though, the first one was Dungeons and Dragons, and it was a good simulation of the tabletop version going to a video game.
Okay.
It wasn't like your action RPG.
It was like
it
an
was
actual
turn based, going through, discovering things, building the character stats,
That's neat.
classes. Like it felt like the tabletop in a digital version.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool.
I always wish I could have had a group together for Neverwinter Nights. The original PC version, because that thing was fucking... It was D&D just digitized.
I own it.
Neverwinter Nights?
I do.
For PC? Mm-hmm. Did you ever play it?
I don't think
Yeah.
my computer could run it at the
Yeah.
time. Because I think I got it when I was running Windows 98 or something.
Yeah, I had a copy of it too when it came out.
So did I.
I mean,
I had I even had the creator's guide for it, where it was telling you how to like code different traps and things like that into the game. For
that's
like
interesting.
the DM. They had a DM strategy guide for it, where it was just about setting up campaigns and stuff. Always wanted to do it. Never had friends to play it.
You
with.
could stop there. You never had friends.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
The last game I did want to mention about the PSP was the one I spent 99% of my time on was Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lion or something like that. That game is fucking dope, and I don't care. You could put like 800 hours into it, and you'll be like, why am I not at the end yet? It's like, it's just one of those games. Like the grind is way more fun than trying to get through the story, because it's just it's very Game of Thronesy, where there's like 800 character names, and you're like, I don't remember you.
Yeah. Were you from season 2?
That was always my problem with the Final Fantasy Tactic games. Is just it's very political and just a shit ton of characters.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the gameplay is just awesome, and they added more classes in from the original Tactics to War of the Lion, which was pretty cool, and some additional CG scenes.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
In the same vein of that, there's a series that mostly spent all of its time on handhelds, the Fire Emblem games.
Oh, yeah.
And they are basically Final Fantasy Tactics, just that's the style that they went for, like their entire series. And specifically, there's one on DS that was awesome, and Three Houses on the Switch is fucking incredible. I spent so much time with that game.
Is that another Fire Emblem? Like
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it's really awesome because you're basically a teacher teaching students how to become warriors in that game, and so you pick your class, and then you have like all these different people, and like they'll interact with their classmates. There's fights, people can die, like it's fucking nuts. So there's some of like that social interaction mixed into, it's like a little less political. It's kind of just telling like a medieval story, and you're kind of in the middle of this war, and you're trying to like teach up the nations, and then there's like an event in the middle, and whichever class you were with is now 5 years in the future, them deep into the war, and what side they ended up on based on your guidance.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
That's pretty sweet.
So then you're with them still fighting, and you find yourself like there's a way to be on every single side of the Three Houses in the war. Like it's really interesting. It's an incredible game. I would have pitched it if we all had Switches at this point. It is a pretty beefy game to get into, but it's really it has that Tactics vibe, and I really, really got into those after playing Tactics originally.
Cool.
Yeah, I really don't have too many other to add. I mean, it's pretty much my handheld, other than, again, like that Metal Gear and Ace Combat for the PSP. That was literally like the only 2 games that I owned for it.
Metal Gear Acid was so awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it was Acid. I think it was based off of Snake Eater.
Did you play Portable Ops?
Yeah, that was it.
So there was Portable Ops. Metal Gear Acid was a turn-based card game.
Oh,
that you're doing the infiltration missions while you like have a deck. So it's like a deck builder game, and you're going on these infiltration missions with like power-ups. You're like, okay, Snake has this weapon now, and he has this ally with him, and you're placing them strategically on the board.
Gotcha.
And then you're trying to get Snake through the mission.
Oh, okay.
While everything's playing out. It was really fucking cool. It was a really awesome concept. It got its own sequel. There was an Acid 2, but they never made it off the PSP, which is a damn shame.
Gotcha. Yeah, Portable Ops, that was the name of it, because it was pretty much like a spin-off of 3, Snake Eater. And
wait, hold on. Of Snake Eater, that would be Peace Walker,
maybe that was it.
where you're playing as boss.
Because
Portable Ops, you play as Snake. The other one you play as boss.
no, I played a Snake. but I just remember it being in the jungle. Portable Ops, wasn't that still like jungle based?
No, Portable Ops I think was in between 1 and 2.
You mean playing as like Big Boss, like
Big Boss.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
original, like
Okay.
80s.
Yeah, so maybe
In
that
the jungle,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe that was. I just
Yeah.
remember there being a jungle, and 3 is the only thing I had associated.
Yeah,
with it.
that's probably Big Boss in Peace Walker.
Oh, okay, then that may have been it. It shows how much impact it had on me. I don't fucking remember, and nor did I think I pawned that thing off when I had to make rent at some point.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just like Game Boys. That's pretty much it.
I mean, have we talked at length about like the phenomenon in handheld gaming that was Pokemon too?
Yeah, we talked about it in the Game Boy.
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Okay,
Game Boy
all right.
pretty much had that
Yeah,
because
that dominated the Game Boy episodes, honestly.
because that was still one that I went back and like got an emulator for my phone so I could play it when I had a lunch break or when I was flying for my old job, and I would just sit there and basically just play through Red again and again. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to go on another 45-minute tangent on Pokemans.
That is completely fair. I have one last shout out to really talk about Persona 4 Golden. It was on the PS Vita. It was the first and only cartridge that I bought for the PS Vita. Everything else I had bought digitally.
Okay.
But that game was incredible. I gotta say, as it was like one of those games that was like the proof of concept that the PS Vita could have been amazing, because they took an entire PS2 game, added about 50 hours of RPG extras into it, and then they up-resed it to be PlayStation almost 4 graphics.
Gotcha.
And they threw it in there, and it played seamlessly. I never had any issues with it, and it was just the fucking best game that was on that system.
Nice. So I have a couple games that I want to mention here.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So I had a bunch of handhelds going up. They were all actually ones we did episodes on already. Minus the PSP, which I mentioned earlier that I had. Like I said, I went through the entire list of PSP games, and I was like, "Yep, I think I played 2 of these." But it was, and I think at the last episode we did, I kind of had a revelation of this too. Arcade racers were just my thing for like a long time because they were just easy to get in and out of. I was like, okay, well, I can time attack, get my times down, hop out of it. Like I can play it for 10 minutes and still get things done. So they were Need for Speed Undercover, which
Okay.
I loved the Need for Speed games growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking
So
Hot
much fun.
Pursuit.
Yeah, Hot Pursuit was...
Yeah, I started. I played Hot Pursuit a lot, and then I really got into them when Undercover came out, or not Undercover, Underground,
Okay.
when that came out on Xbox.
That was a huge game when that hit the market.
Yeah,
Underground?
was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It was like, this shit is the tits.
Well, fucking the first Fast and the Furious had just come out, and there was so
yeah.
much potential for
yeah.
underground racing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, now they're just off the fucking rails, and,
Just bonkers.
yeah, it's just absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Titty bonkers.
And Ridge Racer, the PSP. version.
Oh, okay.
I
so
played
much
a bunch
fun.
of that as well.
So much fun.
Yep.
Why does Ridge Racer sound familiar?
Because
I
It's
mentioned it in the PS3 episode.
That's a
It's a long-standing PlayStation series.
yeah, it's from PS1 on. The first Ridge Racer I think was on PS1.
they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
6 was on PS3 to give you an idea of how many they've done.
The first Ridge Racer on PlayStation was like a checkered box, and it was one of the big boxes for PS1 games. Do you remember those? When they used to have the long boxes for them?
Oh, I never owned one of those.
You never owned one of the long box games?
Nope.
For what now?
PS1, when they had the long box games
DVD style
for PS1.
case?
Huh?
Was it a DVD style case?
No, it was a little bit longer. Hold on, let me see if I can find a picture of it. But they used to have long boxes.
Were they like it was the plastic case that could easily crack, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
Interesting.
It always has like the little shards like sticking out.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Are they like the same cases that they would use at like Blockbuster and shit?
like a Saturn case, right? Similar to like that.
Like here's the original 1996 long box for Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I haven't.
I might have seen that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I've seen one in person. All I remember is
I
just
vaguely
your
remember seeing some beat up ones at like GameStop or like your.
Zerns.
flea market. Yeah, sure.
Here's Doom. Like, so some of the original
Oh, okay.
Sony
Yeah.
games.
So we're just gonna throw out Zerns in the podcast.
Of course.
Like, just
Nobody's
expect-
gonna fucking know.
Nobody's
anything.
gonna know what the fuck a Zerns
It
is.
is a flea market that up until what 4 years ago, 4 or
No, it
5
was like
years
10
ago.
now. It's been a while.
Oh, that's where I used to
really?
get all my pogs.
It used to be like the flea market in our area that like everyone would go to.
Oh, it was so dirty.
I used
It
to
was
get my
happening.
I got my trip pants there.
Well, who said it was happening, Joe?
I did. I just said it.
Dude, I fucking loved it. You can go and get like your
Have you been to Q-Mart?
you can get your chicken gizzards and chicken hearts.
It's like a nicer version of Zerns.
no.
Oh,
no.
come on. No.
No.
It's not
I
anything
swear to God,
compared.
Okay, but
Zerns
here's
was
the
like
thing.
dirt and rock floor.
But here's
Just
the
like,
thing.
At least
Here's
they,
the thing.
at least they have cement.
Zerns was better than Q-Mart.
Yeah, no,
Zerns
it
had,
was
like, everything.
It was, but
Yeah.
I still want to. I still think Zerns was dirtier.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah,
No,
whatever.
it had some grit to it.
Yeah, you had
sure.
to make sure you were up on your hepatitis shots.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that place was filthy.
Joe, I feel like you and I went to Zerns a bunch.
My parents used to take us there all the time.
Yeah, I used to. That was the hangout. We went there on
the
senior.
stoplights walking down like some of the aisles. There was that
Yeah,
one shop
yeah.
that had a stoplight
Yeah.
going.
My dad was always like, I need a new belt made.
That's where you'd go.
I'm gonna go pick out a 70-inch cut.
Oh, yo, how about that dude that sold all like the swords?
I
and
was
shit
gonna
and had,
say,
like
yeah.
4 fingers.
That's where you would go if you were 16 or 17 and you wanted to buy a pocket knife. You went to like the fucking
shady guy at
the
flea market.
Vietnam veteran who had about 6.5
Grady.
6.5 fingers left, and as long as you walked up and showed cash, she's like, "I have 40. I'll give it to you for 35." And you're
Yep.
like, "Sure, yes,
Yeah,
please,
yes, sir.
That's where I got my cane sword from. I still have that thing.
Oh, so dirty.
All right.
Oh, man, I ate a lot of meat from there.
I
Yeah.
inhaled a lot of cigar smoke there.
There was,
so-
there was just a lot of like all
Always just like a cloud.
cigar, cigarette.
So handhelds.
No, fuck it. I like the Zerns tangent.
Well, there was, if you want to tie that in, there was the video game stand that always had like the old NES games
yeah,
and the
true.
Super
True.
Nintendos. They had a little bit of everything, and you
nothing
would
good.
no, they never. It was nothing good. They had
No,
like,
but you were like, I mean, $1 if I play this for 4 hours, I'm still coming out on top. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want one of 5 of my copies of Kirby's Pinball?
yeah,
It would just be like multiple backed up.
yeah.
Oh, no, I think about it. Yeah, I played a lot of Kirby's Pinball or Dreamland. I think it might have been Dreamland. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, handholds. I mean, we kind of mentioned it in the Game Boy episode, where and a little bit earlier in this one, where it was always like when you're growing up as a kid, like now everybody has phones, but like when we were kids, like when the Game Boy came out, like handhelds and things like that were just prime time to be released. Like having a console when you were like 7 to 10 years old, like that you could just like play in the car on road trips or whatever, just like
Right.
fucking absolute game changer.
And I'm sure the parents were happy, just like, oh, cool, this will shut them up for a little bit. All I have to listen to is beep, 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 instead of, hey,
No, my parents loved me.
Or aren't you lucky?
Your parents hated me.
Yeah, well, they hated each other too.
Hey, same here.
My son always asks me like, "Oh, Dad, like, what kind of like tablet did you have when you were a kid?" And I was like, "Dude,
Writing tablet.
yeah." I was like, pen and paper. I was like, man,
When I was your age, I used to play stick and hoop.
no, like, but when I was his age, I was like playing with like the like Tiger Electronics stuff. I had a Game Boy Advance. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's wild to me. I'm just like, man.
Puts into perspective how far things have come.
Yeah, it puts it all into perspective, and also like I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I think I rather my upbringing than the tablet upbringing personally.
Honestly, so just we're gonna go weird with this episode. Now.
Whatever.
I feel like growing up as a kid today must be a little overwhelming with the technology advance.
I would
Like,
agree.
Yeah, it's like
There's
Anything you could ever want.
so much
Everything
shit.
just feels so advanced. Like,
If you wanted to see a boobie, you had to go onto AOL, wait for your fucking modem to kick up, and then wait for 15 minutes to get a 5 megabyte JPEG of a titty.
But you have to understand that's perspective.
I know. Well, yeah, no, absolutely. But
So
I feel
to
like
them, it's not overwhelming.
Yeah. Yes.
To us, it seems overwhelming. For them,
It's not.
Yeah,
But it's
and
not,
no,
'cause
I
they're,
know,
you
and
know,
then they have little sponge brains
the new-
too, so
it's
they
the
like
new
learn
normal.
it all real quick.
Yeah.
It just like we went from like basically nothing to startup. Like they're already
In
generations
there. Yeah,
in.
we
with
watched it grow. We were part of the generation watching it grow, and now it's been there and it's been solidified for at least a decade, and it's only ramping up from here. So
the whole reason I work in IT today is because of my grandfather. Because when I was 7 years old, my grandfather decided that he wanted to buy a new computer, and instead of selling his computer, which you could easily do back then because they were worth tons of fucking money because people didn't have them,
weighed
he was
35 pounds.
yeah, he marched it into my room, set it up in my room. He's like, I'm going to teach you how to use this because this is your future.
Welcome to MS DOS. And
Yeah.
that was the same thing.
Yes, I learned and played and booted up Oregon Trail on DOS, and my second computer I could play Doom on when I was like fucking 10. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But it's like the advancements in technology is fucking wild.
Oh, it's nuts. It's
and
crazy. It's only getting crazier.
yeah, it's only getting
it's
crazier.
literally exponential.
Yeah. Well, it like doubles over every like 2 to 3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And we're just
It's like my favorite picture to like really kind of circle back and stuff like that is like the Wright brothers and landing on the moon is 60 years apart. Like, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's still going at that rate. Like, it didn't slow
even
down.
faster.
No, it is.
almost.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Exponentially, it's like,
now we
Yeah.
got James Webb.
Right.
Yeah.
what's
I
that
mean-
guy doing up there?
I mean,
I'm looking at a star. I'll see what I
I mean, even like they're talking about like nanomachines to be able to control people's like diseases in their bloodstreams.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, which was predicted by Hideo Kojima literally
20
like
years ago?
Yeah, 20, 25 years
No,
ago.
almost
at this
30
point.
years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. But
Yeah.
like we're at that point now. Like we're at this fucking crazy futuristic point that, you know, Metal Gear came out what 97, 98?
Solid, yeah.
Yeah, and like he was talking about it then like
Yeah. Look at me. I am the game now. It's like you're filled with technology.
it was fucking wild. I saw a video of the world's first robotic soldier.
cool. Let's bring those out. That's going to go good.
It's fucking wild, dude. There's 3 people walking around while it has a pistol in its hand, and they're pushing it around with shovels and stuff, and it's not directed to attack them, it's only going after its target. So they're pushing it to the ground, it's standing back up and firing shots and hitting every one of these targets.
fucking chappy.
And the last one they trip
oh
it.
yeah, I've seen these videos. Well, they
Yeah,
do a lot
well,
of
that's
spoof videos on the
yeah,
same
that's
thing
like Boston
too, though.
Dynamics. Yeah, but I guess now in a way you're kind of right. If we're still talking, actually, yeah, there's a way to tie it in. Handheld games, you grow up like playing these controllers, and then you get to like sit in like a drone pilot seat, and you're basically using a controller to control this thing, but you're actually killing things. We've
Yeah.
gone way off the rails here.
Yep.
Yeah, let's I think we should just close it down.
The best handheld game, Bop It Extreme.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that.
It doesn't have a screen, so it doesn't count.
But
There it is,
yeah,
Bop It Extreme.
I mean, like,
But it's a handheld game.
yeah,
I wouldn't exclude it.
Game Boy
Simon-
and Steam Deck,
Simon.
30 years apart. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
And the conceptual differences of those two things, if you really sit back and think about it, is like incredible.
yeah.
Crazy. All right. Well, we did say we were going to go down and probably off on a tangent. Great success.
Good luck getting through that one, guys.
Yeah.
Stay
yeah.
lovely.
Well, at least with that, yeah. You know what? For our
Stay entering
roundtable-
our giveaway.
Yes, please do, and then join us in 2 weeks when we have our review of The Outer Worlds. I'm looking forward to that one. That's something to get lost in. But yeah, on that note,
Space.
space.
Stay sexy.
Stay lovely.
I love you.
Stay safe.